from My News 26 and CCTV. It's high school football, coming to you this season from schools throughout the region. This 26 Sports and CCTV high school football presentation is brought to you by Wolverine Power Cooperative and Great Lakes Energy. Your local electric cooperative is looking out for you. And by Munson Healthcare Cadillac Rehab Services.
First quarter on the horizon for the 26 Sports and CCTV Michigan High School Football Game of the Week at Lake City High School on senior night as the Pine River Bucks are going to be taking on the Lake City Trojans. I'm Derek Tate alongside Jeff Castillo, but before we get started, we're going to go ahead and throw it over to the public address announcer for 20 years, Jeff Hingston, for tonight's national anthem.
At this time, we ask that everyone please rise, remove your hats, and honor our nation as the Trojan Marching Band plays our national anthem.
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem from the Trojan Marching Band, the drum major being Cassandra Fry and Natalie, I believe that's Teague?
Ty.
Natalie
Ty.
So speaking of ties, there will be no ties here tonight for the Michigan High School Football Game of the Week on 26 Sports and CCTV. Again, I'm Derek Tate alongside Jeff Castillo. 3-4 Pine River Bucks. They've lost 3 straight heading into this matchup against the Lake City Trojans.
Yeah, and Lake City's been just the opposite. They've won 3 in a row, so they're trying to get on a roll, make the playoffs. They've got to pretty much win out for the most part to get that 6-win guarantee, although there is, there's always a chance that with 5 wins and going 5-4 that they could squeeze in, but you don't want to go that route.
So you're in a spot with 2 weeks left in the regular season that you control your own destiny, and generally, now this team for Lake City, the Trojans, the last 2 seasons they went undefeated in the regular season. In fact, they've won 3 playoff games, only to lose in the semifinal round. So this is a little bit of a different position that this team in particular is in week 9 of the season.
Yeah, it is. They lost a really good, unique senior class from last year that was just rolling the past couple of years. Like you say, they made it to the semifinals 2 years in a row and lost in the semis. And then they started off with New Lothrop, who they lost to in the semifinals last year, and they opened up with them, and New Lothrop put a pretty good pasting on them that first game. But they've kind of rebounded since then, and they're battling. And like I say, they're on a roll. They got 3 wins in a row, looking to pick up another one tonight.
3 wins in a row and all-time against the Pine River Bucks. They lead the all-time series 27-24. This is going to be the 53rd matchup between these two squads, and we're likely in for what is going to be a competitive game tonight, although we're going to have to see how collectively this coaching staff compensates for the loss of head coach Terry Martin.
Yeah, that changes things up quite a bit. It doesn't make it easy, but I'm sure they're up for the challenge, and I'm sure they got a good game plan for the Trojans.
As we've got the Michigan High School Football Game of the Week just about to get underway. On your screen in red and black, that is the Lake City Trojans. And on the left side of your screen, it's going to be in the white jerseys with green logo of an antler on their helmet. That is the Pine River Bucks. Should be a fantastic game tonight. As entering tonight, though, you mentioned a 3-game losing streak, and especially some of the issues that this Pine River Bucks team has had is they've been giving up a lot of points. They've given up at least 21 or more in each of the last 4 games.
Yeah, it's been a tough go for them, but like I say, when as a coach, you got 2 games left in the season. You're out of the conference, you're out of the playoffs, all that kind of stuff. So you're just telling your kids, hey, let's make this positive. Let's go out, try to get on a winning note, and build on some little bit of success here.
We did see them for the Michigan High School football game of the week between the McBain Ramblers and the Pine River Bucks. And it was the Bucks who fought hard in that one, but just didn't have enough to come away with the win as we get underway at Lake City High School. And that's Rogan Nelson receiving the kick at the 3-yard line. Slips up a little bit, but he's up the left sideline and shoved out of bounds right around the 30. And that's the young sophomore quarterback that we're going to see plenty of tonight. We saw some good things against McBain when he was featured on one of the high school football game of the weeks earlier this season.
Yep, looks like they like to get the ball in his hands and see what can happen here.
A couple weeks ago, Marcus Jurek, the leading wide receiver for the Bucks offense, missed some action with a back injury, and he does not appear to be in the starting lineup tonight. He may be on the shelf. But lots of what the Bucks do is out of the spread option, out of the shotgun. And that's what they'll be in 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. It's a jet sweep to Brian Fauble around the right edge, and the defense for the Lake City Trojans is up to the challenge. Kyle Scarborough on the stop, the senior.
Yeah, they got a couple big boys that are up on that defensive line, so they're going to look to stuff those holes up and maybe force them outside, let those corners come up and make some tackles, and their linebackers.
You get a look at the starting unit up front. Starting at center, the big man for the Bucks, Creed Watson. At right guard, Zach Lemon. At right tackle, Elijah Carper. Left guard, Parker DeBoard. And at left tackle, Hunter Varney on 2nd and 9 from the 31-yard line. Nelson out of the shotgun, quarterback keeper, and there's a last-second pitch to Taylor Hembolt. And that's going to gain a couple, but still going to bring up a 3rd and long on their opening possession for Pine River.
Yeah, they're going to have a ways to go. They haven't really put the ball up in the air yet. Looked like they had a good thing going there, but the Lake City defense was faster than it appeared.
Andrew Vanderteeg on the stop, the junior outside linebacker. Able to take away the pitch man. 3rd and 7 for the sophomore Rogan Nelson in this Pine River offense. The other coaching staff tonight, the assistant coach Bobby Crouch, who's been on the staff for 27 years for Pine River, Aaron Schaub, Brian Jackson, and Devin Rupert. As it's Nelson on the right hash on 3rd and 7. Nelson didn't like what he saw, tucks it down, and he's in trouble, and he's going to be sacked back at the 25-yard line.
Oh, nice defensive play by Lake City. He wanted to get rid of that ball real quick, and it was covered. He almost let it go without looking, and then he had to tuck it and run. Lake City kind of had that one figured out.
It was actually a smart play from Rogan Nelson because if he lets that go, that's potentially a pick 6. Instead, he decides to tuck it down and didn't have much to do. Kyle Scarborough logs his 2nd tackle of this game, his 1st sack of the night, and it's going to bring up 4th and 15. On the punt is Lane Rupert, the senior captain for Pine River, back to receive right around the 35-yard line. For Lake City, that's Gabe Artis. That one bounces around the 40. He gathers it at the 35-yard line. And good coverage on the tackle, Parker DeBoard.
Yeah, he came in and filled that. Luckily, he was able to keep the ball. So they're going to start off at, 38-yard line? Pretty good field position for the Trojans for their first offensive series here.
And like you mentioned, it's the Lake City Trojans that have been clicking on the offensive side of the football recently. 44 points in their 44-6 victory over Everett last week. And it's Hunter Bisball, the junior quarterback under center, leading the way for the Lake City offense. Actually, we've got a Tyler McGinnis under center. He was the homecoming king and actually was the one that caught the game-winning touchdown against the McBain Ramblers. His first pass is complete for a short gain. Nice to see Tyler McGinnis get some snaps under center. Gain of 5. That's going to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Trojan offense, just shy of the 45-yard line. Tyler McGinnis working out of the shotgun. And this is a designed quarterback keeper. And Pine River able to rally to the football, just bringing them down shy of the sticks is Brian Fobble.
Looks like it's going to be a 3rd and about 2 here for the Trojans. Sure, Pine River would like to make a stop here and try to get that ball back, try to get something going again. But like you said, Lake City's offense has really been rolling. These last couple weeks, they've put up a lot of points.
And we'll see what they dial up on 3rd and 2. Give goes to Jack Pedler. He's across midfield, and he's got the first down for Lake City.
Looked like he got a couple extra yards there on that roll, keeping his knees up and elbows up off the ground.
Low center of gravity, able to hold his balance.
Brings him into Pine River territory, up at the 46-yard line.
First drive of the night into Bucks territory. Goes Lake City, just under the 8-minute mark in the opening quarter. McGinnis gives to Pedler. Pedler's got some running room, cuts it outside to the 30-yard line, inside the 20, and cuts it back into traffic and brought down just prior to the 10-yard line.
Nice run, boy. He made a good cut there, got some outside leverage, got out to the sideline and made a good run of it. But he was stopped short of the 10-yard line, so actually Lake City is going to have a 1st and 10 from there. They can get a first down without getting into the end zone.
A lot of running room on this opening drive on the first 2 carries for Jack Pedler. 1st and 10, as you mentioned, just outside the 10-yard line at the 11 for Lake City. Give goes to Pedler, straight ahead. And he's cut down by Brian Fobble, the senior safety. Right at the 5-yard line, we've seen Pedler on 3 consecutive carries. A lot of running room. You mentioned that big group up front. A lot of big bodies up there for Lake City.
Yep, they're making some holes. So both of these offenses pretty similar to each other as far as their alignments. They like to spread it open.
And that's going to be Tyler McGinnis on the keeper. Touchdown, Lake City.
Tyler McGinnis with the carry, taking it to the house.
Tyler McGinnis with a 5-yard touchdown run. The homecoming king sits on his throne in the end zone for the first score of tonight's contest.
Well, they even got the fire department involved over there with the lights.
For homecoming, they had fireworks. I was waiting for them to shoot off fireworks here personally. On to attempt the extra point, Dos Santos, and that one splits the uprights. And it's Lake City on their first opening possession, goes 65 yards to punch it in. They took an early 7-0 lead.
All right, that gives us a chance to mention our sponsors for this game tonight. Tonight's contest is presented by Munson Healthcare, Cadillac Hospital, Wolverine Power Cooperative, and Great Lakes Energy, Fox Motors of Cadillac, your local Ford and Toyota dealerships, LC Materials, the concrete experts, Doug Glass, of Cadillac for all your home and auto glass needs, Builder's First Source in Cadillac, your first source for flooring. Stop by and see them today. Tasty Treat in Lake City. Stop by the Tasty Treat to get your dinner before every big game. The team at the Tasty Treat is wishing the Lake City Trojans the best of luck this season. Best Demolition, your local home wrecker. They can wreck anything you need.
I love that slogan.
Yeah,
it's so straight to the point.
Yeah, that is. That's a great slogan. Pancho Villa Mexican Grill in Lake City, featuring Monday specials like 5 beef or chicken enchiladas for $5. Lake City Family Pharmacy and McBain Family Pharmacy for all your prescription and vaccination needs. Bowman and Rogers in Lake City, your local accounting team. We have Ron D's Tavern and Grocery with full-service delivery and daily happy hour from 4 to 7. Travelers Bar and Grill at 4699 Mackinac Trail in Leroy. Cadillac Tire Center, your home-time tire dealer. And Pizza Plus, Cadillac's local source for pizza and sandwiches for over 50 years.
As it's Lane Rupert who takes the kickoff at the 2-yard line, and he's up the left sideline, scoots out of bounds around the 35-yard line. So another solid return from the Pine River kicking return unit. So they'll start with good field position, and all of a sudden they find themselves with a 7-point deficit.
Right, and it's important for them to get good field position. You know, we kind of dealt with that last week in Cadillac with they just couldn't get that field position thing going on. Traverse City held it on them all night. So the Bucks have started their second drive here out towards the, both of them right at the 30-yard line, I believe.
Yep, that one called out. You called it right at the 30-yard line. I thought he got near the 35. Must have stepped out a little prior to that. Second possession starting right at the same exact spot as the first, hoping for different results. 1st and 10 for Pine River. Nelson working out of the pistol. Fobble in motion. And there's a little counter give to Taylor Humboldt. And he's going nowhere. The Lake City defense stayed responsible on that counter tray.
Yeah, they did. Trying a little misdirection there, and Lake City was all over that. They might have even lost a yard. Well, maybe not. But they went nowhere on that one. Nice job by the Lake City defense. And boy, the Lake City defense has been tough. Last 2 games, 6 points. That's all they've let up.
I believe it was 2 weeks ago where they pitched a shutout against Roscommon. It's an impressive defensive unit. It seems to have been gaining momentum as the season has progressed. We've got 2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line for Nelson and the Bucks. Nelson back to pass. Lobs it across the... right around midfield. They're going to call it incomplete.
Well, that ref was in good position, so he saw it. They kind of had their back turned to us up here in the booth. Nice play, however.
On the top of your screen, that's Jack Pedler in one-on-one coverage against Isaac McKinley. And that was airtight coverage from the cornerback. That also handles a lot about running back duties for Lake City, forcing 3rd and 10 for Pine River.
I've got that spread offense working here.
Nelson, this is a design quarterback keeper around the right edge. Slips a couple tackles, a little friendly fire there between 2 Trojans defenders. But he is brought down a couple yards shy. This is an early decision collectively from this Pine River unit. If you want to go ahead and punt it away or try to convert in 4th and 2 in your own territory in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's a decision facing the coaching staff right now. It appears that they are going to be in punt formation. Doesn't automatically mean they're going to punt. I would always try a long count, hard snap on this one. See if you can get a freebie.
And it looks like they are going to punt this one away. Rupert lets that one rip. And that's Artis. That's Bisball all the way back around the 20-yard line. That decides to stay away from it. It's down at the 28-yard line, and that's where Lake City will start their second possession of this contest with a 7-point advantage, trying to add to it with 5:25 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, Rupert's got a pretty good leg on him. Both those punts he's gotten off have been pretty good. Not much wind going on tonight, and for a change, no rain. Seems like the last couple weeks been a little damp and wet and windy, but we've got a beautiful night for football tonight.
We've got Tyler McGinnis starting at the 28-yard line with a 1st and 10. And here he's going to go to the air. And he's going to go deep down the right sideline, and he's got his man into Bucks territory. Finally slung down right around the 30-yard line. That's number 12, Gabriel Artis, on the reception.
Yeah, number 4, Ian Robertson on the tackle, but not before they get all the way down into Pine River territory to the 30-yard line.
A little double move on the one-on-one coverage, and McGinnis dropped that one right in the bucket. It's a big gainer, and here Lake City's in business again with a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. A long mesh point, and this time Pine River is all over that one. Drops McGinnis for a loss.
Yeah, Lake City just continues that quick strike offense of theirs. They've been doing this for years. You think you have them, you're holding them, and then all of a sudden, wham, they sock it right to you with a big, long play.
McGinnis on that one, a little indecisive, trying to hold that ball, get a full read on the defensive end on the left side. And that's number 56, Creed Watson. 2nd and 13 for Lake City. Pedler up the middle. And he'll get back what they lost. It's going to bring up the the second third down of the night, but the first third and long for Lake City.
Yep, looks like they're going to have to go the full 10 on this third down. But once you're at the 30-yard line and in, you're probably looking at maybe 2-down territory here. I don't think they're going to punt from there.
We saw Lake City elect to go for it on fourth down from the 6-yard line as opposed to kicking a short field goal to take the lead against McBain, as they're going to go ahead and dump that off to Benjamin Marion on the reception. But good tackle there by number 40, Sasha Huffman, one of the senior captains of this Pine River defense. Gain of 4. It's going to bring up fourth down and decision time for head coach Smith.
Well, it doesn't appear that he is looking at a punting strategy right now, talking to the quarterback. I think they'll be going for it. Not a bad move.
4th and a long 5 for the Trojans, as Lake City trying to extend this drive and add to their 7-0 advantage. Out of the shotgun is McGinnis. Play action. Looking for Marion, and that one nearly into the waiting hands of Gabe Artis.
Yeah, that one almost just fell right into his hands. He was just short. If his arms would have been just a little bit longer, I think it would have worked out perfect.
Sometimes the ball just bounces your way,
Yeah.
and that one would have been a very fortunate bounce for Lake City. Luckily, the defensive play from the secondary of Pine River breaks that one up. They get a crucial turnover, and they've got another possession, this one starting at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, that was a big stop for the Bucks. They do not want to go down 14-0 this early, or 13-0, one of the two, to Lake City. So a chance to redeem themselves here. Get a little offense rolling.
And here's Fable, and there's a double reverse. This one to Rupert and dropped in the backfield. That one going nowhere. Looks like number 48, Fernando Sebastian Pena, blew that one up.
Yeah, that's the second misdirection they've tried here in the last couple plays, and it's just not working. Lake City is all over that, so not sure I'd go to that play again for a while.
Tough one. You try to catch the defense over pursuing, and on consecutive misdirection plays, first one went for no gain. The second one for a loss of 16, bringing up 2nd and 26 for the Bucks. Fable in motion, and this one Rogan Nelson on the quarterback keeper maybe gets one back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Bucks.
Yeah, well, the original line of scrimmage after they lost 16.
Correct.
Yeah, they'd love to be at the original line of scrimmage. That's a ways away. All right, 3rd and extra long here for the Bucks.
3rd and 26. Not many plays in the playbook for 3rd and a quarter of the field. But it's Pine River that needs to be careful. They're backed up inside their own 10-yard line on 3rd and long. Nelson working out of the pistol. And here's a quick hitter over to the side. Taylor Humboldt on the reception, slips one tackler, falls forward to around the 15, but brought down well shy of the sticks. That's Bradley Burden.
Yeah, Taylor Humboldt. He made a nice little move to get by that initial defender, but then Lake City had somebody else coming right there and made the stop. So it looks like it's going to be Rupert punting from pretty close to his own end zone. His feet are on the about the end zone line. He's got a big leg, though.
And a little bit of pressure, but Rupert gets it off. This one is going to take a Pine River bounce into Lake City territory where it's downed at the 48-yard line. It'll be the 3rd possession of the Lake City Trojans in this first quarter with 1:09 remaining. They have a 7-point advantage here on the 26 Sports and CCTV, Michigan High School Football Game of the Week.
Yeah, like I say, that's a pretty good punt when you're standing on your goal line and you put the Trojans into their own territory just across midfield.
Right now, the net total offense for the Bucks, -6. They got to get it figured out on the offensive side, as it'll be the head coach, Kyle Smith, that takes a timeout for Lake City. Well, while we have a timeout, we'd like to go ahead and say thank you to some of our staff for tonight's game.
Yeah, we've got our crew. I think I've got them right here.
Okay.
Derek, our director tonight is Miss Hannah Crouch. We have Damian Brooks providing graphics for the night. Elizabeth Gingrich on one camera, and Miley Hilkowski on the other camera. And thank you to those, students. Basically, they're in cooperation with the Career Tech Center over in Cadillac to help bring us this presentation tonight.
They're doing a fantastic job. I mean, last week, luckily, most of our Michigan high school football game of the weeks here on 26 Sports have been in the rain or in the cold for the most part. This one actually a beautiful night here at Lake City High School. But regardless of the weather, these young men and women have been braving the conditions all season long. We can't say enough, but thank you to the fantastic job they're doing here on the Michigan High School football game of the week. We got 1st and 10. Bisball under center gives it to Tyler McGinnis out of the I formation. He'll gain 1, but is still shy of the 50-yard line to bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, and the crew, I think they deserved a little break from the rain. They've toughed it out pretty good the last couple weeks.
Every single week we've been able to hide underneath cover in the press box. This press box here at Lake City is toasty. I'm all about it.
Yeah, it's almost, it's not quite like Florida, but,
No, not there yet. No, don't mention Florida.
All right. Sorry about that.
2nd and 9, and it's McGinnis that takes the snap. He's rolling right now. He's going to tuck it and run, and look at the wheels. He scoots out of bounds just past the sticks, and Lake City will have another 1st down at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Derek is used to the Florida weather, so he's up here in northern Michigan for the first time ever. And it's going to get a little chilly. How do you like the color so far, though?
Oh, the color is beautiful.
Oh, it's awesome.
I went up to a place called Fishtown.
Oh, yeah.
That place was it was a pretty cute little place.
Yep.
Saw a bunch of different change of colors. Speaking of change the sticks, it's 1st and 10. Peddler on the jet sweep around the left side, and he's got some running room. Cuts it back. And he's going to take this one to the house. Touchdown, Lake City.
Well, I tell you what, he had some awful good blocking on that, but the majority of the yards that he got on his own. He made some really nice cuts through the defenders to get into the end zone. Unfortunately, that one is coming all the way back as we have a holding call on the Trojans.
That's a tough one to take for Jack Peddler. If I'm him, and I'm creating my highlight tape at the end of the season, I'm still counting that. That's still going to be on there without a doubt.
That's right.
A nifty 42-yard run on a jet sweep that gets called back to a holding call. 15 seconds remaining. We'll see if we'll get another play or if that'll be the final play of the first quarter here at Lake City High School on senior night, as the Pine River Bucks still trail the Lake City Trojans 7-0. Man, that was a nice run, though.
Yeah, that was.
And we've seen a little bit of Hunter Bisball under center, but right now it's Tyler McGinnis working out of the shotgun play action. He's got the edge on the right side. And he cuts it upfield. He's got some running room. Cuts it back just inside the 15-yard line. And that is going to be a gain of 36. And that'll be likely the final play of the first quarter here at Lake City. Beautiful bit of running from Tyler McGinnis.
Oh, that was it. Spectacular. There was a defender right out there thinking he's got him right where he wants him, and then all of a sudden, he just kind of kicked it in gear and got it right around the corner and hit the sidelines.
And that'll be the final play of the first quarter here. Senior night at Lake City High School. The Trojans lead the Pine River Bucks 7-0 as we head into the second quarter here on 26 Sports and CCTV.